Hey friends, it's Megan, and today I'm going to be talking about some German names. So this is part of my little ongoing name series on names from different cultures, countries, and religions. I love learning about names from all over the world. Germany in particular I'm drawn to right now a little bit because I suspect I'll be going the next year or two. My boyfriend loves Germany. He's been several times and I've never been. So we need to get over there together. I think that would be really fun. Also, I just really want to quickly say thank you to Sarah, who's German and just has a wealth of knowledge and was so helpful to me and shared with me some lovely sites and things. So thank you, Sarah. A lot of these names that I'm going to talk about in the beginning at least are quite old-fashioned, I think, in modern Germany. I will try and give you maybe like a ballpark figure of the typical age you might find a person living in Germany with that name now. So I'd say like you might find a woman in her 30s with this name, for example, something like that. So that kind of will help you out. Also, some of these names I'm going to talk about are used in multiple countries. For example, a name could be Dutch and German. That's a common one. So I'm not saying that these are exclusively all German names, but I am focusing on like the German pronunciation and so on. Because names obviously are used in multiple countries, a lot of popular cool names. I am going to say most of these names first with my American accent or the way that I think that they would be pronounced by people here. Some of them I already kind of know how they're, I guess, pronounced in Germany, but I'm going to try and play the game here. And then I'm going to say them secondly, of course, how they would be pronounced in Germany, and that is to the best of my pronunciation ability and my research and my knowledge. I do not speak German, so like I said, it's just the best I can do. You'll see a lot of them sound really cool, I think, maybe even better for the most part with the German pronunciation. And then at the end of the video, I'll briefly just discuss the most popular names in Germany right now. But first I'm going to talk about 10 girls' names, 10 boys' names, then we'll talk about the top 10 names actually in Germany. And these are my favorites, kind of in descending order, 10 to 1. So let's go ahead and get started. That was a long intro, sorry. I get so chatty in the intros. Okay, so for girls' names, my number 10 name is Heidi, also pronounced Heidi. So this is an easy one to start off with. And it's kind of neat that it has a similar or pretty much the same pronunciation. Heidi is a German name. It is a diminutive or nickname for the name Adelheid, which is really cool and fun to say. And Heidi means of noble birth or just being noble. It's currently number 334 in the United States, so definitely not unheard of here. Many people will also recognize this name because there's a popular children's book called Heidi, and there have been movie adaptations as well. In Germany, you could find a Heidi, the maybe like median age would be around 40 to 60 years old. Then my number 9 choice is, I would look at this name and say Anneliese, but it is Anneliese. It's a German and Dutch name. It comes from the names Anna, which means grace, and Elise, which means pledge to God. And you'd most likely hear this on a middle-aged woman in Germany. I love both pronunciations, actually. Anneliese, I think, is lovely, and Anneliese is beautiful. Number 8, I have Saskia, also pronounced Saskia. That's an easy one. So this is a German-Dutch name as well. It means Saxon or Saxon woman. I think Saskia sounds very vibrant and spunky. It sounds just like a woman full of life and energy. Yeah, vibrant, like I said. You would find a Saskia maybe around the age 40 in Germany. I think it's such a stunning name. The next name I have, I don't know how I would pronounce this one if I didn't know, honestly, but the German pronunciation is Ilse. Ilse is a German and Dutch variation of the name Elizabeth, which means pledge to God. It might remind you of Elsa, E-L-S-A, so maybe that's how Americans might say it. But I thought that start makes for a really cool spelling too, Ilse. And you could find this typically a woman more in her 60s. My 6th choice is, okay, I would look at this name and definitely pronounce it Christiane, excuse me, I cheated. So I would look at it and pronounce it Christiane, but the German pronunciation is really cool. It's Christiane. Christiane is a German and French name meaning follower of Christ. I actually prefer Christiane to Christiane, And I think with both of the pronunciations, it has a really magical sound to it. And this one's a little bit younger. It's more a woman in her 20s to 40s. Number 5, I have Annika. The German pronunciation would be Annika. And it's a diminutive of the name Anna or Anna, meaning grace. Here, this name is number 528, so not too popular. And Annika is Swedish, Dutch, Finnish, German. Yeah, it's used a lot of places. And you could find a woman in Germany, maybe more in like her 40s, would be the more popular age. But I think Annika or Annika are really lovely. My 4th name, if I looked at this name, I would have no clue how to say it. Just what would you think? I don't know. But the German pronunciation is the one I'm going to say, and that's Mechtilde. Mechtilde is a lovely name. It means mighty in battle or having strength in battle. It is an older name, so you'd find it on a much, much older person. But I think it's a really cool name. Number 3, I have, okay, so this could be pronounced a couple ways. The American pronunciation, I would assume it's Karolina or Karolina, but with the German, it's Karolina. Karolina. I think I'm saying it too slow, but yeah. It is used in so many places. There are many variations of the name Karolina, and it's derived from the name Charles, which means free man. You could find it on a woman maybe around 30 years old. I think Karolina has a very kind of like a slightly exotic but very romantic and also a strong sound to it. Okay, the next one is Leonie, and so I would say it Leonie. The German pronunciation is more like Leonie. It's German, and it's from a Latin name meaning lion. There are other variations of this name in other languages like French, so you may actually hear Americans say it more with like the Lee sound or Leonie or Leonie. Leonie would be the German way. And this would be a woman maybe more in her 20s now. I think Leonie has such a soft, sweet, like just beautiful little sound to it. It sounds very delicate. And then my number 1 name that I like of German names is Amelia. Or in German, it's just slightly different. It's more like Amelia. And it's a variation of the German Amalia, which is Amalia, which I also think is a cool name. But Amelia means work. It's number 23 in the United States, so pretty popular here. I love both pronunciations. I love actually when names can be used in many countries, and I think Amelia particularly would be really good for a woman who is like a world traveler, because there are so many variants of it all around the world. Not too popular in Germany. You'd find it more on a woman around the age of 60. Okay, on to my boy's name. Stay with me. So my number 10 name is Johan, and that's how I would say it in both languages. It's a German name. It's a variation of the name John, meaning God is gracious. It's currently number 480 in the United States. I think this is one of the names that people here might be more familiar with. It is used in many countries. I think people wouldn't say Johan. They would know for the most part here that it's Johan. And in Germany, it would be used more on a like middle-aged man. Next up is, okay, so I would say Gustav. So I pronounce more the V sound, where in German it's more like Gustav with a F sound at the end, Gustav, which just sounds a little bit better to me actually. And it comes from an Old Norse name that means staff of the Goths. But it's Swedish, Norwegian, Danish, and a German name. And I think Gustav is just so amazingly fun to say. Try it. Talk to your computer. It's okay. Okay, the next one is Reinhard, or it's actually more, I'm saying it more like with that D at the end, but the German pronunciation is more like Reinhard. And it's an old German name that means brave and hardy. You'd find it on a man in his 40s perhaps. I know someone with this surname, and she actually pronounces it more the German way, Reinhard. So I'll have to ask her if she has some German ancestry. She looks like she could. A lot of Americans do have some German ancestry, but Reinhard I think has a very masculine and powerful sound to it. Next up is, okay, I would say it Casper, but it's more like Kaspar. Casper is a German variation of the name Jasper, which means treasure or keeper of the treasure. I do think of there's an old cartoon, Casper the Friendly Ghost. I think Casper or Kaspar is such a cool name though. I don't know that I'd be brave enough to use it, but I think it's cool. And this can be spelled in Germany with a K or a C. I just thought it looked really cool with that K. Okay, next one. This one is debated here, even in America. It's pronounced two different ways, so it can be like Alaric or Alaric. The German pronunciation is Alaric. It's an old German name that means ruler of all, and Alaric is a name being used right now, interestingly, in American pop culture. It's the name of a vampire on a couple shows, but yeah, I think Alaric or Alaric is such a cool sounding name. Then I have, okay, so I'd probably say this Wilhelm, but it's very close, it's Wilhelm. And so Wilhelm is a German variation of the name William, which means resolute protection. I actually kind of prefer it to William. I like William, but I think it makes for a really cool alternative. I think it would be a cool middle name for someone who had maybe German ancestry, but Wilhelm is not too popular amongst young people. It would be like a man 90 or older. Okay, next up is Wolfgang or Wolfgang. Wolfgang is a German name meaning traveling wolf. It has that cool Mozart connection. It is a name that is high up on my guilty pleasure list for boys. I just can't see myself personally using it. But Wolfgang I think is really cool, and you'd find a man maybe in Germany around 40 to 60 years old with this name. Okay, my third pick is okay, I would look at it and assume that this name is pronounced Thorsten, but in the German pronunciation is Thorsten. And Thorsten is a Swedish, Dutch, and German name. It means stone, or it can mean Thor's stone. I think Thorsten is such a cool, strong, masculine sounding name with either pronunciation, and it would be popular amongst men maybe around 20 to 50 years old. Okay, two more. So my second favorite German name for boys would be, I would look at this and think it's Nikolaus or Nikolaus. I kind of said that the same, Nikolaus, but it's Nikolaus. Nikolaus is a German form of the name Nicholas, which means victory to the people. I love the very many pronunciations of Nicholas in different languages. Nikolai, obviously Nikolaus I think is really handsome. Not too popular amongst young people, would be more a man around 70 years old in Germany. And then my number one name for boys, German name, is a name that I like in every language pretty much, and I would say it Lukas, but it is Lukas. Lukas is pretty much, like I said, my favorite name for boys in any language. It's German and Scandinavian name, meaning from Lucania. It is number 232 here in the United States. It is the number 4 name for boys in Germany. Common with men 20 years and under. Like I said, it's number 4 currently, and I think Lukas sounds so handsome. Yeah, so on to the most popular names in Germany for 2012. I'm going to just go ahead and say them with the American pronunciation in the interest of time. So the top 10 names for girls in Germany: number 1 is Mia, which is the number 8 name in the United States. Number 2 is Emma, which is the number 2 name here in the United States. Pretty interesting, huh? Number 3 is Hanna, and here the more popular spelling is the first one, and that's currently number 22. Number 4 is Leah, and it's more popular with the second spelling with the H on the end. Here it's number 33. Number 5 is Sophia, with that second spelling, the PH. It's number 1 in the US. Number 6 is Anna, which is 35 here in the US. Number 7 is Lena, which is number 360 in the United States. Number 8 is Leonie, which is not in the top 1,000 here in the United States. Number 9 is Lena, which is number 770 in the United States. And number 10 is Marie, which is number 576 in the United States. I think it's really interesting to look at this. Why I wanted to bring this up partially is like Mia, Emma, and Sophia are top 10 names in both countries, and Emma's number 2 in both places. Isn't that kind of neat for last year? Okay, and then on to the boys. Number 1 name is Ben, and it's Ben on its own is 745 in the United States, but Benjamin is number 16. I thought I'd just throw that out there. Number 2 is Luca. Luca is number 223 with the first spelling here in the United States, the more popular of the spellings. That's what I'm choosing for these. Number 3 is Paul, which is number 193 here. Number 4 is Lukas, which is number 27 with that second spelling, the C spelling. Number 5 is Finn, which is 291 here. Number 6 is Jonas, which is number 473 here. Number 7 is Leon, which is number 357 here. Number 8 is Luis, which is number 90 here. Number 9 is Maximilian, which is 464 here. And number 10 is Felix, which is number 316 here. So I think it's interesting that we don't have any of the same top 10 names for boys, but the girls had quite a few. And even the ones that weren't in the top 10 for the girls, a lot of them were at least in the top 100. It's really kind of fascinating. I would love to know what names like I talked about just now that you like. Please comment those below. Please comment any other German names that you love from this list. All the names actually I'm going to put in the description box below. I apologize if I flubbed up on any pronunciations. Anything that I notice I do wrong, I will add in a little YouTube annotation. So I welcome your positive, constructive feedback, of course, because I'm not an expert. Like I said, I don't speak German. Another cool thing, when I was talking about this, I was thinking, like, I mentioned my love of names, like Nikolaus, the variations of Nikolaus in different countries, how I really love that. My most recent blog post, I'll link that down below as well in the description box. I did this little name series on my blog where I talk about 4 names and look at how they are spelled in various different countries. So it's called Same Name, Different Country. So go check that out if you're looking for more baby name info. I hope that you will, bookmark my blog to go check out from time to time. I try and post fairly regularly. And of course, subscribe to this channel so you can come back for more names. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a lovely day.